Welcome to where the screen door slams and the coffee mug hits the table. You're listening to The Family Balancing Act with me, Maureen Huntley, mom, grandmother, and board-certified holistic and functional medicine health coach. Each episode will explore the realities of your day-to-day family life in this modern era of nonstop texts, memes, and technology. After all, how do we keep ourselves sane and our family healthy? I'll have amazing guests and thought-provoking discussions, and we'll take a holistic look at family health, emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual. Whether it's a micro perspective of family involving healthy snacks, teenagers with an attitude, stressed out husbands, partners, adult children, potty training, elder care, grandchildren, college prep, or a macro perspective of world events, including flu, earthquakes, the brainwashing media, finances, and oh, so much more. We'll find a way together. So take a deep breath, exhale, and know that you're not alone. Bring on the Family Balancing Act.
Welcome. Come right in, take a seat, and grab a coffee. We have a lot to chat about here on the Family Balancing Act. I'm Maureen Huntley, your host, holistic and functional medicine health coach, mom, grandmother, wife, and CEO of my family. I am always trying to balance things, but the truth is, it's a wobble. There's no balance. It's just a wobble. We're all just trying to get through. So, how do you teach your family to forgive? Does it start with you? I've been thinking about forgiveness lately because of many personal things I've been working through for over time, actually my entire life, and not really getting to the point of surrounding so much gratitude around something when I haven't forgiven myself for it or forgiven another for it. It just gets weighted down. It doesn't feel like I'm progressing. So, in order to forgive, I have to feel it in my gut. And I know when my gut isn't clear that I can't get there. I just get stuck. And my gut can be clouded because of health issues, the food I put in, the thoughts I put in, the people I see, the feelings I have. Our gut holds it all this stress, all these emotions. And forgiveness, it has to start with me forgiving myself, you forgiving yourself. So often I work with my clients and they're feeling stuck also. I mean, we're all going through so many of the same things. And my first point of working with someone is often with food, but truly emotions are food, thoughts are food, other people are food, situation is food. And yes, greens are food, and those can help you settle yourself so that you can get clarity. So forgiveness doesn't mean forgive and forget or excusing bad behavior. Forgiveness just brings peace of mind and freedom. When we forgive, it empowers us to acknowledge the offense, but not be defined by it. It's sort of the get out of jail, the emotional freedom. The get out of jail card is what I'm trying to say. Throughout my day, I do my best to stick to my loose, albeit goals of prayer, meditation, being present for myself, my family, friends, neighbors, and some sort of exercise. Although I'm having a cherished play date with my grandchild tomorrow, and I totally get that exercise in. There's always loads of laundry, my cat throwing up, my dog that needs to go out, or prepping meals, or making meals, clearing the garden, my home, cleaning my home, working with my clients, and taking time to be bored. Yeah, right. That needs to be a deliberate decision for me. And when I do it, sometimes I turn it into a nap, but it's okay. I needed it. my crazy days and all that it can entail. I swear I can hear my inner self talk shouting over the noise in my head that I should be grateful for it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Grateful? Yeah. But am I done ruminating about what an idiot I am for not standing my ground around my boundaries, not asking for help and expecting others to read my mind? Or when I break something, I'm angry at myself, or when somebody else breaks something that means something to me. What do I do? Scream at them? Hold so much anger that I can't move forward? They can't read my mind. Shh, I hear back in my head. Oh gosh, it's that inner voice talking again. Gratitude? I say. I I, I can't just let it go. I'm mad. I'm tired. And I'm going to stay right here with my feelings because I'm not feeling any gratitude at all. And I hear back from that inner voice, self talk. Forgiveness starts with you. Forgiveness starts with me? Okay. All right. I'll try it. Take a deep breath and let it go. Doesn't always work. Anyway, I do know that gratitude is not genuine unless I've forgiven myself, then others, and then the circumstances or situations. Really, what I'm being called to do in these moments is just to stop and, yeah, breathe and exhale, but to just give myself a freaking break. As I try to forgive myself, I can feel my inner self person smile. Not really, but I know that I am now aware that I need to start at the point of pain, acknowledging that sucky situation for a moment, even if it's not over and it continues for years and years. I need to allow myself the mourning, the frustration, and the anger first, and then forgive all parties. And I'm not saying to ever forget, but that feeling softens as soon as I release it, and then it can release its hold on me and then bring me back to gratitude. And there I can stand in gratitude. For the big forgiveness stuff, this is like really, really major work. It's not easy and it takes time. I know. I hear it from my clients all the time. It's tough. It's really tough. And we keep talking about it over and over and over again. While it does take time and space to forgive another, it could be an entire lifetime or two of me never giving myself the gift of forgiveness. I just keep beating myself up, playing that story over and over in my head to the audience of one, myself. Half the time, the people that have hurt me, or I feel I've been done wrong, or the stupid stuff I've done, and I can think of a plethora of them, nobody remembers but me. And I'm taking up the brain power and my emotional wherewithal and my creativity by staying in this place of ruminating. And I'm making myself sick in the process, taking it out on my immune system and jacking up my stress levels. As a health coach, I know this, but I am so often kicked in the behind to live the awareness of it all. Truly, your health depends on forgiving yourself and others, according to multiple studies cited by Johns Hopkins Medical website. The very act of forgiveness can reap huge rewards like lowering your risk of heart attacks, improving cholesterol levels, and sleep. Oh, sleep, yes. Don't you love it? In the middle of the night, you wake up and you start thinking about that stupid stuff again. But forgiving helps you get some sleep and reduces pain, blood pressure, anxiety, depression, and stress. As we age, the research points to a huge increase in the forgiveness health connection factor. So forgive yourself first. I know I'm pounding that in, but Truly, it starts with us. And when it starts with us, it ekes into our family. We teach our family how to do this. We teach our children. We teach our friends, and they teach us. Karen Schwartz, MD, director of the Mood Disorders Adult Consultation Clinic at the Johns Hopkins Hospital, says that those arguments with your loved ones and those long-held resentments, unresolved conflicts can go so deep and deeper than you realize. There is an enormous physical burden to being hurt and disappointed. Chronic anger puts us into the fight or flight mode, which causes changes in the heart rate, blood pressure, and immune system, causing this cascading effect, such as increasing, again, the risk of depression, heart disease, and diabetes, among so many other conditions. Forgiveness, when you let go, calms the stress levels and improves our health. And that's where I know for me, it's meditation, and it's working through that peace and trying to find that calm. And it takes a while, it takes years, but it takes one step forward every day. Whenever it comes into your mind, just take a deep breath. That alone, taking a deep breath and exhaling and intending forgiveness, is indeed a meditation. So can you learn to be more forgiving to yourself? How about to others? Can you live to be a living example of forgiveness in your family? Forgiveness is a choice. It starts with you. It starts with me. Each one of us as the pebble in the water, creating that ripple effect out into the world to heal, to find joy, to live in love. We can do it. Each one of us. Take that time today to take a deep breath in and exhale in forgiveness. We'll be right back with an incredibly inspiring woman who actually has walked this path, who has cleared her own health through her story around forgiveness and letting go and forgiving herself. Bonnie Sharf Provost. I'm so thrilled to have her on. She'll be on as soon as we come back from our break. So take a deep breath again, exhale, and know that you're not alone here on the Family Balancing Act.
You've listened to the shows on CTR, and perhaps you've found yourself thinking, maybe I should host my own show, but I don't know how. It's easier than you think. From the beginning with private coaching sessions to your own live broadcasts, CTR Network will prepare you on every level to share your knowledge, expand your brand, and take your business to the next level. At CTR, we nurture your vision and make it a radio reality. Contact Cameron Steele at 425-221-3646 or Cameron at ctrnetwork.com and put your dream into motion today.
Welcome back to the Family Balancing Act, where we have a very, very special guest, Bonnie Sharf Provost, joining us at the kitchen table. Bonnie is a board-certified transformation healing coach, a wife and mother of a blended family of 5 boys ranging in ages from 28 to 13. After finding her passion for coaching in 2013, she wound up experiencing her own serious health challenge in 2019 when she was diagnosed with a chronic autoimmune disease that attacked her nerves in her body, causing paralysis in her legs and feet, and of which she was told there was no cure. She has since then healed herself completely and has dedicated her life to helping others to do the same and heal themselves from autoimmune and chronic conditions for which traditional medicine has no cure. Welcome, Bonnie. Your story is so compelling. You are so amazing. It's miraculous. I can't wait to have this conversation with you.
Thank you so much, Maureen. It is such a pleasure to be here with you. And I just have to say that I absolutely love what you just shared with us all before this. That's what I'm all about. I love what you just shared. That's so beautiful that you send that message to everyone because it's so true.
Thank you. Yeah, I really kind of, we focus on, and I even hear Dr. Joe Dispenza, whom I know is like near and dear to your heart also. Mm-hmm. He is always, he talks about gratitude. And I've not been lucky enough to go to one of his events. Mm-hmm. But I often think, well, don't we have to clean up the forgiveness piece first before we can really, really be so grateful? Because to hold on to that stuff makes us sick.
Yes, absolutely. We must clear up many things that cause our vibration, our energy to drop into the low vibration frequencies, such as the emotions that don't feel good, like guilt and judgment and holding gripes with people, including ourselves. All of that plays a part in it. So that is so important in order to do this work, is to forgive yourself and others.
So where would you like to start? Our listeners, I've heard from many people and from all over the world, actually, that want to hear your story.
Sure. I would love to share my story. So I'll start just giving you a little bit of background that I was already a health and wellness coach when this happened. I never expected anything like this to happen to me because I was all about health and fitness. I was the one promoting working out. I was doing workouts online to inspire others to get their body, to keep their body in good condition. And all of it plays a part in our health. So when this happened to me, it was back in 2019. I was 52 and I didn't have any issues up until then to give me any idea that something major was about to happen. But yet all of a sudden I started to notice that my feet were getting really cold all the time and I didn't know why. I scheduled an appointment with a new doctor. I needed to wait a couple of weeks because it was a new doctor appointment. And during those couple of weeks that I was waiting for my doctor appointment, I started noticing additional symptoms. And one of them is that I was finding it difficult to walk. It was not normal that when I would lift my legs would feel heavy and stiff. And it was just so bizarre because I had really strong legs from working out and I have pretty muscular legs. And then I started noticing loss of balance where I was just standing still and I had this feeling like I was about to fall and I had to hold on to something. And then the night before my appointment, my doctor appointment, I was bending down in my closet to pick something up. And when I went to stand up, I fell. My legs weren't strong enough to hold me. So I knew there was something very wrong. And so when I went to the doctor, he evaluated me. He had me walk. I couldn't walk a straight line. He had me crouched down. I couldn't stand up. And he told me that he believes that I have what's called Guillain-Barré syndrome, which is also pronounced Guillain-Barré. And he sent myself and my husband directly to the hospital. He said, you need to get to the ER immediately. And it's a good thing I did because by the end, I wound up being admitted. As soon as, we got there, they did a lumbar puncture, they did an MRI, and it was all consistent with Guillain-Barré syndrome. And they admitted me. And by the end of that day, I went to stand up from using the bathroom and I fell. So from that point forward, they labeled me a fall risk and I had to wear the red socks and, the bed alarm. And I wasn't able to even get up from my bed by myself because at that point I had declined pretty rapidly where I needed to have a walker in order to walk. And it was so scary. So the thing is, they originally told me the Guillain-Barré was temporary. that eventually I would wind up getting better. But then after repeated relapses, and to make it's a very, it's a story that could go on. I don't want to take up too much time.
No, this is great. Please. And we feel it. We feel it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I wound up receiving what's called plasma exchange treatment. Plasmapheresis is another name for it, where they transfuse all of my blood out of my body and they replace my plasma. And the reason for that is the reason for Guillain-Barré. It's an autoimmune condition where my own antibodies were not recognizing the nerves in my body. They were mistaking my nerves for a foreign invader and attacking them. And so the antibodies are housed in our plasma. So they took all the blood out of my body and replaced my plasma with synthetic plasma. And this was just a short term. It was not in any way supposed to cure me, but it was supposed to help me regain some of my strength back, with the hopes that then I would be able to heal and not have to continue to be in the hospital. As soon as I was released home, which was 2 weeks later, I relapsed in 3 days, even worse than before. And it was incredibly scary. I wasn't even able to stand. I wasn't able to wiggle my toes. I lost the feeling, and I'm starting to get emotional because it brings it right back to me. It really feels so fresh and raw when I talk about it because I relive it. It was really the most frightening experience of my life. So I wound up losing the feeling in my feet and in a good portion of my legs. I also lost the feeling in my genitals for a period of time where I couldn't feel anything at all. And I also had some neuropathy in my face and my hands, and it was just terrifying. I wound up relapsing 6 times total, and I basically lived in the hospital for 5 months. I kept having to go back and receive the plasmapheresis. They also tried steroids, and basically after 8 weeks, they changed my diagnosis to be the chronic version, which is called CIDP, and that stands for chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy. It took a while to learn how to say that.
and like you ever even wanted to be able to say that.
Right, exactly. And for that, I was told there's no cure, that I was going to have to live with that for the rest of my life, that I would be reliant on either a wheelchair or a walker. I was told that I was going to have to be on either the plasma treatments or IVIG, which is an intravenous treatment on a regular monthly basis. Steroids, there's alternative medications, but all of them have their own very nasty side effects, and they're all very limiting. So I was basically being told that this was going to be my life now. And it was just terrifying. I was in shock. It felt like a nightmare, that a nightmare was just placed in my life and I was living it. So that was just, I tried to explain it the best that I can, but there's really no way to envision like how it feels to actually be told that this is going to be your life now. And it was just...
It's incredible. And I will say that Bonnie has, for all of our listeners, has a YouTube out there that when you're on stage with Dr. Joe Dispenza, he showed it, and that's what spurred me to then go and watch it. And you have clips in there of yourself in the hospital and walking with a walker. And here's this beautiful young woman who has children and a family and a husband and a household and a business, who never imagined that this could ever be. This wasn't part of your deal. You're a holistic health coach. You're all about health and wellness. And clearly there's a higher purpose at work here, because here you sit. But what was it that changed the narrative for you?
Yeah. So just to give you a little background, up until that point, I have been a personal development junkie for many years. I used to attend Tony Robbins events. I was actually a crew member, and I have immersed myself in personal development. So I was already at a point where I believed that everything that happens in our lives is happening for us rather than to us. So even though, yes, I was extremely frightened and devastated, at the same time, I kept on consciously saying and reminding myself that this is all happening for me. I know that there's a lesson to be learned in this. It's happening in order for me to learn this lesson, and it's going to serve as my greatest gift. It's actually going to be a blessing in my life. And so I moved forward looking for the lesson, being open to the lesson that I'm meant to learn from this. And I found it.
Yes, you did with somebody I want the whole world to know about. And you are that person that certainly helped to make that spread. How did that show up for you, and how did you begin to work with it?
Yeah. The second hospital stay, it was in August of 2019. And one of my Tony Robbins peeps had sent me a message on Facebook saying, because I have been posting on Facebook. I was sharing my journey. That's what my passion is, to share with others, to help others in that situation, similar situations. And one of my friends from Tony Robbins had sent me a message saying, have you ever heard of this guy? And he sent me a link to one of Dr. Joe Dispenza's interviews. And I had never heard of him. And I watched the interview. And as soon as I heard him explain how our bodies respond to stress and how our emotions cause the vibration in our bodies, and the entire way of describing how it all works, I immediately knew this is why this happened to me. This is what caused my condition. And if I was part of causing this condition, then I can also be healing myself as well. So it gave me that empowerment. It gave me that knowing that I can do this. Mm-hmm. I believed that it was my thoughts and my feelings that caused this condition. And so being that that's what caused it, I can change those things. I have the control, the ability to dictate who I'm being and change my energy that I'm living in and heal myself. So from that point forward, that's what my main focus was. I was just mono-focused on immersing myself in his work and teaching myself to be different, retraining my thoughts, retraining my mind and my feelings, because a thought does result in a feeling. And the combination of our thoughts and our feelings create our state of being. And our state of being is what creates the energy in our body, the environment within that our genes are living in. And so it's recently been now proven that what used to be thought that we were a product of our genes, that we were totally victims to our genes, we were helpless, whatever our genes were set up for, that's what we had to deal with in life. And now it's proven that that is not the case, that yes, our genes may determine whether we might be more susceptible for certain illnesses, but whether they get turned on or remain turned off is dependent on our inner environment. And that's what our energy is, it creates our inner environment. And so based on that, I'm going to just introduce the idea that many people might not be aware of, that it's now proven also that we are 99.9% energy. Even though we look and feel very, very solid.
Very
yes,
solid, but we're not.
We're not. And so knowing that we are mostly energy and our energetic vibration is determined based upon our state of being, we can control our state of being, and it's doing a lot of inner work. It's not easy, but it's simple. And that's what I help people to do.
That is fabulous. Thank God above for you. Really, thank God above. And thank God that you got through this experience, because your process is going to continue to give so many people hope. But you are one of thousands upon thousands of people to have experienced this miracle ability. Yet we all have it, but there are so many people that have it. It's a matter of whether or not they have the voice or to talk about it. I was wondering, was there a certain meditation that you started with? He's got many, many books out there, and I know it's about letting go of the old you and creating the new you. Was there a certain process or that you picked to work on, or you just kind of just jumped in doing everything?
So I personally immersed myself in Dr. Joe's online intensive and progressive workshop. Now, at first, I believed that I was going to have to be at a live event. He only was doing his live events with his advanced workshops, which were, for me, it was very pricey at the time, and there was no way I was going to be able to get to one at that time in my life. And so I purchased his online workshops, and that's all I did. I was so mono-focused. I spent the majority of my time in the hospital. And even though you might think that I had all the time in the world, it really isn't the case, because there's so many people constantly coming into the room, whether it be the nurses, the lab people, the doctors, visitors, the food people, there's always people coming in and out. So with all of my downtime, that's all I did. The TV was never on in my hospital room. I was constantly just watching Dr. Joe's workshops. And I taught myself how to become different. Now, that was just my own journey. There are many people who have also, done the same thing and didn't heal themselves. And I find that it's because each one of us is so unique. Each one of us is more ingrained in our thoughts, and our mind is more unconscious, if you will. Mm-hmm. And so that's really what I do. There wasn't one particular meditation, because many people ask me that question. What meditation did you do? It really isn't about which meditation, because like everything else, each one of us is so unique. The way we respond to food, the way we respond to medicine. It's also, which meditations really work the best for us. At the same time, it's about not only meditating, but it's about becoming aware of our thoughts and not automatically identifying with them and accepting them and doing a lot of inner work. So I find that since I was already a health and wellness coach, I was already, ever since I was young, really, I was always about personal development and being aware of things. So I feel like I was set up to be able to do it myself. Many other people have, but there are even more people that are doing the work that are not seeing results. And sometimes people need someone else to help them to see blind spots or to see things that they're unaware of within their own being, of who they've been being, in order to help them to get out of that mode. And so that's what I help people do.
That is beautiful. I know on my own personal story with this work is that nothing compared to the walk you've done. Is that I was introduced to Dr. Joe Dispenza's work about 7 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I'd look at it, listen to it, whatever, yada, 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 do it for a day, stop, wouldn't do it again. And then during COVID was a little more into trying it, but that lasted 2 weeks. Then this past August, I felt I was going through a lot of emotional heaviness with family stuff. Doing that family wobble, the balancing act. And it was hard. I was feeling broken almost. And I thought, well, let me try this stuff again. And I too have been in the wellness industry for years, since 2000. I've been working on self-development and doing all sorts of courses and classes and certifications and But I started doing the work, and I thought the only way it's ever going to get done for me is to get up at 4:30 in the morning, and because that's the only time I could find some peace and quiet. And yeah,
actually, that is the best time to meditate. 4:00. That's when our melatonin is the highest in our brain.
Right. So I thought, hey, I'm gonna try this. So I started doing it, as I'm doing it, it's you have to work on it.
Yes, absolutely.
Really work on it, and then as I was doing it, I was also doing a lot of journaling.
Great.
Writing a lot of things down regarding things I was tolerating. Thank you, Marilena. And
journaling is powerful.
Yeah, and just things about how I was responding to what I was tolerating. Was I even dealing with it or not? And so as I did that, within about 2 weeks, there were little things that I needed to, like I had like a little skin tag thing here on my forehead, and that started to kind of dissipate. But it wasn't anything huge. And I would put into my meditations that one of them was, I was a money magnet, that, that money was coming into me. And like 3 days later, I got a check that I was owed for over 5 years.
Wow.
And it wasn't no huge amount, but it was like, okay, I can do this.
Yes.
I can do this. All right, I'm changing. I'm going to change. So I've been sticking with it, but as you say, it's work.
Yeah.
This is because I'll go in and out of that meditation. I'm like so present. And then I'll start going, oh God, I have to go to the grocery store.
Yeah. And that's so normal.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm not here.
Yes, that's so normal. So many people think, they're so judgmental. We are all naturally judgmental. So that's part of the work, is teaching ourselves to not be judgmental, that it's okay. And meditation is not supposed to be something that everyone just gets. None of us get it right away. Like it's a practice. It's a muscle that you build just like any other muscle, that it takes practice, because we're so normally so consumed by our thoughts that to even start out and just even sitting in stillness and just having a minute of no thought, or even less, even just 30 seconds of no thought, just even 5 seconds, just experiencing what that's like, then you can build upon it. So there's never any judgment. There's never any, I'm not doing it right. It's just, all about practice and giving yourself that opportunity. So
I want to ask you, what do you say to people who have been doing this work for some time now, didn't have money coming into them 2-3 weeks later, and they're not getting the results? What do you do?
What I would suggest is to find someone, like myself, or if you know someone else who's doing this work and coaching others. It's so important to be able to have someone else to be able to show you blind spots that you might not be aware of, which most of us have. There are so many aspects of who we've been being. We've got these subconscious beliefs that are dictating the way that we're viewing the world, the way that we're reacting to our environment, and allowing that view dictate who we're being. So our 3D environment is basically a product of the way that we're viewing the world. And so when we shift how we're viewing it, everything changes. You'll see a change in your environment. So my goal for my clients is to help them to wake up and see things that they might not have otherwise seen about who they're being, the way they're thinking, other ways of viewing things, so that it serves them instead of keeping them in this small, feeling, the small place of feeling like they need to defend themselves or react to things, and instead create an environment of love and gratitude and just letting everything be. In my program, it's a lot of Dr. Joe, but it's also some Eckhart Tolle, and then myself, my own and insights and observations. And intuitions that I help people to overcome. And it's called Overcome to Become is the name of my program. So if you know anybody who can help you, I'm here. If you have other resources, it's always a really good thing to let yourself be seen by others who can help you and give you some input as to things that you might not be seeing, some judgments, some reactions, some beliefs that can be changed. You know, we really can change our subconscious beliefs. But it takes sometimes someone outside of you to help you to do that. So that's what I would suggest, to seek some support in helping you to move forward and getting past some obstacles that might be holding you back.
That's perfect, because also for people to realize, because I've heard of other people what's her name? Donna Eden is also energy, does a lot of energy work.
Mm-hmm.
And you might not see the results. Like they've said, they've done like blood work and you feel better, but the blood work is showing it hasn't changed, that you still have whatever you have.
Mm-hmm.
And that the fact that you feel better is the first point of it's working.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. In fact, you can start feeling better immediately.
Mm-hmm.
You really can. You can start, changing the way that you're viewing things and putting your focus, whatever we put our focus on is what we give our energy to. So changing what we are focusing on. Most of us have such a habit of focusing on the worst case scenario of what we're afraid of, what we don't want to happen. We have this innate belief that if we focus on what we don't want to happen, then we can be more prepared for it. And we're really not more prepared.
Bringing it to us.
Yes. All we're doing is putting that.
I knew it would happen.
Yes.
I just knew it.
Yes.
We were ruminating about it.
Yes, and it also causes all the stress in the body when we're living in that state. We're living in a stressful state. We're causing ourselves anxiety. Anxiety is a major issue for so many people, and all of that can be transformed through doing this inner work. So you live not only a more healthier life, but such a more relaxed and enjoyable, pleasurable, and fulfilling life.
Enlightened life and just ease, a life of ease. And isn't that what we're all here for? And one last thought I just wanted to throw out is that the connection to our ancestral stuff is all part of that energy sphere of ours.
Yes.
And this work too does break that down. Yes.
It causes us to become the creator of our lives instead of just reacting to the ancestral stuff and becoming part of it. Mm-hmm. We can be the one in our family that breaks that by doing this conscious work and choosing not to continue to follow that same pattern in our family. And that's one of the things that I deal with as well.
Love it. That is just perfect. So I know that you've got a free, so Bonnie is hosting a free 5-day transformational event.
Yes.
Discover your inner power and heal yourself.
So, now it's in 6 days, so I'm not sure if this is going to be out there for people.
Yeah, no, it's already, it's live. You're live.
Okay. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, so it's in 6 days from today, and anyone who's interested is welcome. I would just say that if you do want to do this, it's a commitment to block out that part of your day, because we're going to meet every day during that week, so it starts on the 17th of this month on next Monday, and it goes through Friday, the 21st. And each of the days we will be meeting on Zoom, and I will be guiding you through a transformational experience.
I'm coming.
I've done it twice already. I was thinking whether it was 3 times, but I think I've done it twice. And each of the times that I've done it, I mean, the people that went through it were transformed. and they were just so grateful that they experienced it. And so I really want to emphasize to all of you who might be suffering or struggling in any area of your life that you're not content with, this will be transformational. It really could open the door to so much more beautiful things for you.
Deep breath, because energy is everything.
Yes, it is.
Exhale.
Mm-hmm.
That's my big thing. It's always just don't forget to breathe.
Yeah.
And so often we hold our breath when somebody else is speaking.
Yeah, that's true.
We just should breathe. Otherwise, you're not taking it in, especially when it's somebody as wonderful as Bonnie. You have to breathe through it.
Thank you.
Is there a place that they should find you? I will go ahead and post this, the link to the transformational.
Sure. Yes. Well, one is you can always subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Bonnie Sharf Provost, because I post videos all the time to helping people, with messages that I think could be helpful to people who are in their overcoming journey. And then, of course, you can find me on Facebook. I'm on Facebook more than any other social media platform at this point. And that's where I have my event as well for this transformational journey. So you can friend me or follow me on Facebook and send me a message. You can, if you just go to my page, you'll see an invitation to join this event, or I can give you a direct link that you can post for people as well.
Perfect. Well, Bonnie, yay! Thank you very, very much for joining us today. You really are a spark in light in the darkness.
Thank you so much for having me, Maureen. It is such a pleasure to be here with you. I love what you bring to everyone. I love your energy, your messages. So I'm just so grateful that you invited me. That's right. I'm grateful to be here.
So grateful. Thank you. So we're going to be back in one moment. So I want you to take a deep breath, exhale, and know that we will be right back to grab some mom sense here on the Family Balancing Act.
You've listened to the shows on CTR, and perhaps you've found yourself thinking, maybe I should host my own show, but I don't know how. It's easier than you think. From the beginning, with private coaching sessions to your own live broadcasts, CTR Network will prepare you on every level to share your knowledge, expand your brand, and take your business to the next level. At CTR, we nurture your vision and make it a radio reality. Contact Cameron Steele at 425-221-3646 or Cameron at ctrnetwork.com and put your dream into motion today.
Welcome back to the Family Balancing Act, and I'm Maureen Huntley, your host. I am so excited to talk about Ho'oponopono. I don't know if how many people out there know about Ho'oponopono, but it is a Hawaiian chant, a Hawaiian prayer. And for today's meditating moments for moms and for everyone, actually, but moms first, we're going to do a little Ho'oponopono. So if you can just close your eyes and put your hands on your heart. Hold that heart energy and listen to my words. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Now take a deep breath in Release it. And as you breathe in again, say to yourself, I love you. And release it. And breathe in again, I'm sorry. Release it. Breathe in, I forgive you. And release it. And breathe in one more time. Thank you. And release it. Know that you are pure love and light. You are energy. And that energy is all around you. And it is connected to all that is. It's God's source energy. And you are a part of everything. You deserve love. And you deserve to forgive yourself. Because you are part of the Creator. You're part of creation. So I want to thank you so very much for joining us again today. How you can check me out, work with me as a holistic and functional medicine health coach. I am at maureenhuntley.com. And I want to thank so much CTR Network and all of our podcast forums for all the wonderful work they do and how they get so many of these wonderful hosts, their messages out to the world, because we need love and light and energy, not negativity, just love and light. So the Family Balancing Act is here every Tuesday, live, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Central time, and noon on Eastern Standard Time. And then 24/7, you can find it, us on the CTR Network and also all of our podcast forums. So thank you so very much. Take a deep breath, exhale, and know that you're not alone here on the Family Balancing Act.